This is the story about an African American woman who is passionate about professional wrestling and goes to countless events. She then, one day, gets the idea to start a wrestling talk podcast to talk about her favorite wrestlers and wrestling programs. She has a home podcasting room full of wrestling memorabilia that she uses to do the show, and every week you can tune in and join in the conversation.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Rumble Time. I am your host. I'm your host, Queen Gemini. Boy, it's been. We're going to kick the show off with some wrestling news. I'm telling you, it's been a busy day, last couple of days in the news, and some things that have been reported. I really hope it's not true, because if it is, it's going to hurt my feelings. It's just going to hurt my little heart. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt my heart. Um, Let me get to it. This came in this evening, just hours before, um, as I was getting ready for the show. That now nothing has been confirmed yet. I am hoping this is just a rumor. So everybody, let's just pray that this is just a rumor. But they're saying Jacob Fatu is injured, and that it is a non-wrestling injury, and that he is going to be out for the rest of the year and well into 2026. Now I'm like, this ain't, you saying this is a non wrestling injury and he going to be out? That what did he do to himself? I'm hoping this is just a horrible rumor. So we gonna keep the eye out and wait for confirmation. But let's just pray that this is not true, because I will be really upset because we just got him back. Moving right along, we got to talk about Andrade. Y'all sit down for this one. Y'all sit down. Y'all sit down. Now, remember, I told y'all Andrade showed up in AEW, and it was said that there was the 90-day non-compete clause wasn't in effect for, for the WWE. Didn't put it in effect. They just wanted him gone, right? And yeah, apparently that's not true, because when was it? Tuesday evening, I started seeing people say, "Where's Andrade?" They taking him off of upcoming um live shows and stuff like that. So everybody was like, "Okay, where he at? Don't tell me the sucker done went somewhere and done did some of that stuff, and now he gonna be MIA." And come to find out, what they saying now is the WWE sent cease and what you call it, cease and desist or whatever, to them, because he wasn't supposed to be competing, because his 90 days was not up. Yes, y'all, they are petty. They gon' You gonna get rid of him, okay? You gonna get rid of him because he kept failing, the wellness policy, and then he gonna show his behind, and you gonna tell him we're not gonna pay you, but you still gonna have to sit out those 90 days. So he got to sit out those 90 days without a paycheck. Yes, they sent that sucker to them, and that's why he gotten pulled from everything. I said, ain't that's petty. Now that is totally petty. But yeah, he wasn't supposed to be competing. I'm like, how you gonna tell the man he can't compete for 90 days, and he ain't, and you not gonna pay him for those 90 days? So he gotta make some money somewhere, because y'all know he got a kid, right? right? You didn't know? Yeah. Andrade has a kid. Yeah. Had a kid, while he was married to Charlotte. Yeah. And yeah. That little person gonna be needing stuff. So yeah, you can't be doing that. But but Triple H and them was just petty. Poe Andrade. But stay off that stuff. You wouldn't have this problem. I'm just saying. But anyway, now I know at some point in time, all of us are getting older. That's just part of life. And it's a fact with our favorite wrestlers and those we, love to cheer for and those that we love to hate. But y'all, we are running out of folk. We're running out of folk. They finna leave us with a bunch of folk. They, we about to be doomed. We about to be doomed. John Cena leaves at the end of the year. Then AJ Styles is leaving next year. Samoa Joe, y'all, has announced that at the end of his AEW contract, he's calling it quits. He's hanging it up. Who we gonna have left? All our people are leaving. They retiring. And some of these folks that they leaving us with, I don't like them. They ain't gonna be able to carry a wet paper bag, less known to carry the company into the future. They just leaving us. This sucks. This isn't fair. But I get it. I get it. At some point, you gotta call it quits. Yes, Samoa Joe too. He said this, yeah, and nobody knows when his contract expires. But at the end of that AEW contract, it's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. He's done. He's hanging it up. Yo, we running out of people. This isn't fair. I always liked Samoa Joe. When I saw him in TNA, I was like, I like him. He crazy, but I like him. And now he gonna be gone. And like I say, some of these people they got now, they can't hold a candle. But this is his final run. This is it, y'all. Okay, I'm done. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, remember for all of us, when we was growing up, they'd tell us, don't do drugs, and they do the ad commercial. This is your brain on drugs. Remember when they used to, do that? Yeah, I see why. Because somebody really needs to get Matt Riddle. Seriously. Matt Riddle is getting worse and worse as the day go by. I don't know what kind of stuff he on, but he need to leave that stuff alone. Seriously. He need to leave that stuff alone. And the reason I say that is because, y'all, why did this nut job say that he could take Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in a fight? Yeah. Them ain't the problems that you want. Brock just looked like he angry all the daggone time. And he looked like he live on the wish factor. Like he be walking around, I wish you would roll up on me. Roman Reigns, the day before his debut in the WWE, homeboy got locked up for a fight. For a fight. You hear me? Locked up. Seen the mugshot. I seen the mugshot from that. Trust me, honey. I hate to see what that person looked like because homeboy did not have no bruises, nowhere, shape, form in his freaking face. And he was looking like, what? Yep, I did it. And this was the day before he got signed. But you gonna take them and you better leave that stuff alone. But it gets worse, y'all. It gets worse with this nut job. Exactly. Yeah, right. You better go somewhere and sit down. And this nut job said he is not opposed. He would accept a Hall of Fame induction if they offered it to him. What would they possibly enter you into the Hall of Fame for? Seriously. What is rolling around in his mind makes him think he is Hall of Fame material? Seriously. What exactly, for what? I'm trying to figure that. That's what happens when you get on that stuff. I'm telling you, he on that. That boy on that stuff bad. He on it. He on it bad. He need to go somewhere, sit down, lay down, do something. It this is yeah. Mm. Yeah. But yeah, he's just all jacked up at this point. I don't. He just gone. He just gone. And honey, he's getting worse and worse as the days go by. I'm telling you, he really is. Now, next up is Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He had court today. Remember I told y'all about he had that little, accident, you know, right when, Hulk Hogan went on to the other side, just hours before. And he got charged with reckless driving and everything. Well, Vince was seen. He got stopped for autographs on his way into the courthouse, and he, out there signing the little autographs and everything for his, before his little reckless driving case. Um, McMahon got into an accelerated rehabilitation program for 1 year. This is what he gets, and will make a small charity donation. That's what they decided his punishment will be. Must be nice to have money. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we knew it was gonna be something. It was gonna be something crazy. But anyway, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Moving right along. Oh yeah. Okay. Now to top off the wrestling news, we're gonna end with this. Everybody is still talking about what happened to Seth Rollins on Monday and if he's really injured or if this is a work, and people, are really torn about it. I ain't gonna believe nothing until he relinquishes that title. Now, if he relinquishes the title, then yes, he is really jacked up. And yeah, yeah. Anyway, if he don't give up that title Monday, it's a work. Now, people are already saying that at Saturday Night Main Event, it should be CM Punk versus LA Knight. And I'm like, oh, y'all just gonna cut out everybody else, forget everybody else. We just gonna go straight to LA Knight. Okay, that's what we're doing now. And that LA Knight should win because Saturday Night Main Event will be November the 1st. And they tell me it's his birthday. I was like, don't nobody give a rat baby's butt that it's his birthday. Who cares? Big deal. Tell me he deserves a championship run. Who is what? What? And then I seen one talking about we think. Who is we? Because we do not fix this. I can't stand LA Knight because he's a bootleg version. He just bootleg. If he was himself, okay, fine. But when you a bootleg copy of other people, yeah, I don't care nothing about you. And I don't care nothing about for him. I don't want to hear him talk, speak, or nothing. All he gonna do is run around there with the title thinking he Billy Badass when he ain't. I mean, come on now. I mean, why we get. And what's even making me even madder, they keep listening to these newfangled fans. They're not listening to. It's obvious they're not listening to the seasoned fans. They're listening to these newfangled fans. Well, we would like to see LA Knight with the title, and it should be LA Knight and CM Punk. No, it should not be that. No, it shouldn't. What about Jay Uso? He held. I feel like Jay needs the title back because I did not appreciate that short run. He needed a longer run than that. I didn't appreciate that at all. That was just disrespectful if you ask me, But yeah, I still say cause Goldberg wanted to. He didn't want to lose to another person of color, but anyway, okay. But yeah, everybody's talking about what's gonna happen with this title, and if Seth is really hurt, and and then somebody made a good point. Well, Roman has said this. Roman told Seth, "You will never, never. You are not the guy to carry this company," and he's not. Seth is not. No matter how much Triple H pushes and pushes and tries, nothing works. Nothing. We don't like him. I mean, by a clue. He'll get it one day. But we'll see what happens Monday. We will see what happens comes Monday, how this plays out. But now, every time we turn around, somebody's hurt, injured, jacked up, retiring or something. Ain't no telling how War Games gonna be this year. So after Saturday night's main event, we'll start seeing how War Games starts to shape up, how it starts to come about. So that's it for now for wrestling news. So now, let's go back into time when wrestling was wrestling. And it was fun. And we enjoyed it. With this, we're going to stay in the season of spookiness. Yep, we're going to talk about Halloween Havoc. Mm-hmm. Halloween Havoc. First, we're going to talk about the main event for Halloween Havoc 90. That was the second year they had Halloween Havoc. Now, when you go online, if you go on Peacock and watch it you'll see the WCW logo. Only because it still falls up under the NWA. It falls up under the NWA because things hadn't totally been finalized when WCW purchased the NWA. So they were still going through that transition of finalizing everything, and that's why you see the logo. But NWA still falls up under them. The host was Jim Ross, and one Paul E. Dangerously. Now, for any of you that have no idea who Paul E. Dangerously is, that is Paul Heyman. That was Paul Heyman before. Right there. There you go. That's the Paul Heyman I grew up with. When he had hair and he carried around that godforsaken brick phone. You know how many phones he went through? I know he was buying them things by the case because he would bash a mug in the head with that phone in a minute. Um, but yes, that's back in the day when Paul had hair and he was slim, and he did not look like Oswald Cobblepot. Um, that was bad. That was the good old days. Um, he was hosting with they was doing commentary, him and Jim Ross, for this particular Halloween Havoc. Now, when you go on and watch it, there's several matches that are missing. That's not the full Halloween Havoc. We do not know why the matches are missing. We have no clue what happened with that. But there are several matches that are missing. Now, the main event for that night, y'all, was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sid Vicious, who was representing the Four Horsemen, versus Sting, who was the champion. This was a 1 hour time limit. Now, this was the beauty of back in the day. They will tell you how long it was gonna be. Look, this is what's gonna happen. Title matches for 1 hour, and they would count it through you getting the countdown throughout the whole match. If they when they got to that 30-minute mark, 30 minutes, you got 30 minutes, you better make something happen, or you gonna be short tonight. You literally they when they would give you a time, tell you the time limit, and they would give you a time, announce the time all throughout. I miss those days. I really miss those. Cause I tell you nowadays, you be like, oh my god, especially on them dull, boring matches when it seems like it's taking them forever. Be like, could you wrap this up, just put this to bed, cause this is not giving at all. Yeah. Back then we at least knew how, but back then it was more exciting, than nowadays. But you know, at first, now let me say this: I have had the pleasure to see Sting and Sid wrestle each other. I when I think about, I was like, dang, I've actually seen them wrestle a couple of times. Good lord! And then I realized, wow, I'm old. And if my son was here, he'd be like, "Yep, you're old." But anytime you heard Sting and Sid, you knew it was gonna be good, even though you was worried about Sting and his safety. Which, even though I have seen this, I know what's going to happen. Rewatching it, it was like watching it for the first time. And I was like, oh my God. Sting, you gotta do something. He finna choke you. I don't, yeah. Yeah, Sid was choking posting. Honey, y'all, he was beating Sting like Sting owed him. Like, just, honey, he was just angry with Sting. When he got to choking the pole man, I'm like, Sting, fight back. Do something. Come on. Sting, please, please, please. And if y'all could have seen me in here, you'd have been like, haven't you seen this before? I'm all into it. Like, I ain't never seen it out. But Sid was really putting a whipping on Paul Steen. I'm telling you, you have got to see that match because I felt bad for Steen. Now, it gets to the point that they're fighting outside of the ring. They fighting outside of the ring. And I'm like, well, where y'all going? Because I don't mean no harm, Sid, but you can't beat him out there. And if you get counted out, it's a wrap. He keeps his belt. What you going in the wrong direction, buddy? Because they was going up that little ramp, the little ramp. Well, here come Flair and Anderson. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. They finna cheat, Sting finna lose. Here we go with this crap. They are still fighting outside. I'm like, why y'all still fighting outside? So you got the ref telling, Flair and Anderson, you better get over there, get over that way, stay over there. Don't you touch nothing, breathe on nothing, don't you do nothing. So Sid and Sting are fighting up through the crowd now. They are back fighting back, like, back through the crowd. I'm like, where is you going? You're going the wrong direction. I'm like, this is a mess. This is a hot mess. Sid come back to the ring. And I'm like, well, if you done beat Sting down, Sting can't get up. You do know if he gets counted out, you don't win that title. Well, Sting, you got Sid in the ring, and then here comes a fake Sting. That's right, you heard me. It was not the real Sting. We think it was Barry Windham, one of the other horsemen. Comes to the ring, gets in there with Sid, picks him up like he finna slams him, but he falls back. And when he falls back, Sid is on him. The ref counts 1, 2, 3. And they're saying we got a new champion, Sid Vicious. I'm like, no, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Then the real Sting coming back to the ring. He comes over that barricade, he gets back up in that ring. They start fighting. He done hit Sid with the title. Okay. He hits him with the belt. Cause by this point, they had given, Sid the belt and everything. Sting grabbed that belt, done clock, post Sid in the head with the belt. He hit that stinger splash. Your boy fall down. The ref counts 1, 2, 3, and still, world heavyweight champion, the Stinger. Now Paulie is screaming, oh, he lost. He lost. No, dude, that was a fake Sting. That was not. That was Barry Windham. We all know that was Barry Windham, but Paulie just down there hollering. I'm like, Paulie, if you don't shut up, you just hush, because we know that is not the real Sting. And the referee got enough common sense to know that that was not the real Sting, even though he counted the 1, 2, 3 like a dimwit. But anyway, Sting retained his title and everything. I was the dumbest plan that I had ever seen in my whole entire life. Now, if they had duct taped the man in the back somewhere, or like if Flair, see, this is where they messed up. Let me tell you where they messed up at. Flair and Arn is down there at ringside. See, they should have been back there in the back when Sid fought Sting through the crowd. They could have got Sting, duct taped him, and then, let the fake Sting go in there and okay, and then they, deal with the aftermath after that once he got unduct taped and stuff. But no. It was a hot mess, but it was still entertaining. It was because I'm telling you, when you see it, you're gonna be like, How Sting survived that? Cause I'm telling you, Sid was not playing with him. I felt bad for Sting there for a minute, and I'm tell you something. At first, I did not like the whole Surfer Sting. I did not like him. I didn't like the Holland. I didn't like nothing about him. I didn't like how he looked or nothing. I did not like him. I did not care for him. But I would root for him from time to time. Now, what really made me like Sting was when he became the Crow Sting, and he was up in the rafters, and he was all quiet, and he went and talked because I think it was what about a year he before he said anything. He would just come down, hit people with his little baseball bat, and go about his business. I was like, ooh, I like this one. You know, he got issues, but it was a good match. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed rewatching it. Moving right along, we're gonna talk about now this Halloween Havoc. Everything is finalized. This is officially WCW. This is considered the first Halloween Havoc up under the WCW umbrella. This is Halloween Havoc 91. Y'all, we're going to talk about the opening match, which was the Chamber of Horrors. Now that I'm gonna tell you something about that one. Okay, let me tell you something about the 91. 91 had 11 matches. That's right, 11. It had 11 matches, and the Chamber of Horrors kicked it off. It kicked off the show. Now, at the very beginning, when you look at it, Eric Bischoff is, one of the backstage not commentators, what you call them little folks? Interviewers. So he was catching everybody as they was coming in, having little words with them and stuff like that, and they saying what they had to say and stuff like that. Now originally Barry Windham was supposed to have been a part of this match, right? But Barry, at him and Dustin Rhodes was coming in, Barry got attacked by Larry Zbyszko. Larry Zbyszko and Arn Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. They slammed Barry's arm in the car door. So Dustin had, push him over, drop in the driver's seat and take him to the hospital. So he ends up not being a part of this match. The Chamber of Horrors, we could not have WWE could not do this in this day and time because it'd be too many people. "Oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that." Bunch of wusses. But anyway, it's two teams of four. Okay. Team number one is Elegante, Sting, and the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner. Okay. They're facing, okay. Okay, look at this picture, y'all. See, Scott Steiner is the one on, if you look at it on the right, he's on the right. That's when Scott Steiner looked normal. Yeah. That's before that stuff. That's for the big Papa Pump and all that crap. Yeah. Scott Steiner used to look normal. That's what he looked like. Okay. Team two. Abdullah the Butcher, Cactus Jack, the Diamond Stud, and Big Van Vader. Okay. Okay. Now, this was the object is to get one of the opposing team members in the torture chair, which is it's an electric chair, and pull the lever, which was on the cage. Okay, outside of the ring on the cage, pull the lever and torture them and render them helpless. Okay, that's your goal. Okay, there was objects all around the ring to pretty much torture your opponents. Now, this is all taking place inside of a cage. These mugs are locked in a cage. Now they go through announcing everybody. They announce everybody. They announce Cactus Jack. He done came out there with a whole chainsaw, y'all. He had a whole chainsaw. I was like, yeah, I don't think y'all should have gave him that. That might not be a good idea. The final one to be announced was Sting. Sting is the last one that gets announced. Before he could get in the cage, all hell broke loose. Everybody fighting. Everybody fighting. They finally get all 8 of these men into the cage. Okay. They get the door shut. Be like, okay, now y'all go for what y'all know. Now, there is 4 coffins around the ring, on the outside of the ring, in the little corners of the cage, right? Why was there some masked man in one of the coffins? He done popped out on daggone Scott Steiner. When I say Scott, honey, when I say Scott beat him like he owed him some money, Scott felt bad for the little dude. I was like, dude, did they tell you? Who who told you to do this? They'd have had to pay me extra. Cause when he popped out on Scott, Scott popped him. He'll know the next time he pop out on somebody. So everybody's battling. They using chains, whatever they can find. Everybody's battling. Well, you got everybody fighting, carrying on, and then they lowered down the torture chair. I'm like, oh Lord. Oh Lord, they done lowered it down. Oh God. When I say it did not take long, folks all busted open. It it looked like an episode of Friday 13th up in that mug. I was like, oh. It was ooh. I know I gotta watch what I say. So yeah, honey, people just busted all open. I was like, oh hell, oh Lord, oh, that isn't good. Y'all, ooh, honey, I think Cactus was the first one, and oh my God, I was like, somebody help Cactus, help Cactus. Then Abdullah, and then I started losing track of who it was just awful. I was like, mm, mm. Now, apparently, Cactus and Abdullah. Now they at this time they were friends. They was buddies. Crazy and crazy because anybody that recalls or remembers that them two had fought for years, each other for years. But at this time they was friends. Yeah, but they had a plan. Or at least they thought they had a plan. Okay. Abdullah excuse me, Abdullah was fighting Rick Steiner. And at one point, he had Rick in the chair. Now, you got Cactus Jack climbing up on the cage to get to the little lever so he can pull it down, right? Okay. So the plan apparently was Abdullah was going to strap in Rick Steiner, lock him all in, and Cactus was going to pull the little lever, right? Yeah, okay. Rick realized he was in that daggone chair, and Rick said, nope, not today. Rick jumped up. This is why I said Braun Breaker gets his strength from his dad. He gets that mess from his dad, straight up. Because Rick Steiner jumped up, Abdullah standing in the doorway of the little, to the little, electric chair. He puts his arms around Abdullah the Butcher. Okay, we talking about 300 and something. You see how big this man is. He belly to belly suplexed him into that chair. Okay, he locked his arms in. He put the little head thing on. So Cactus thought Rick was in the chair, locked in, and threw the switch. Y'all. He throws the switch. You hear him pop it. Sparks flying. Smoke sizzling. Ring catching on fire. Excuse me. It was a hot mess. So when the smoke clear, and they, get the ring, flames out and everything, Cactus doesn't realize what done happened. Okay. So now Sting and his team done won. Because, Abdullah done got in there and, barbecued. Yeah. So Elegante, Sting, and the Steiners are the winners. Okay. So the cage is going up. Abdullah's sitting there in the chair. Cactus Jack goes over to him and he unhooks him. He unhooks his arms. He pushes the thing off his head and he's hitting him in his chest. And then he starts doing this screech scream thing because he's freaking out now. Because he's like, oh, wait a minute. He ain't waking up. So he's freaking and he's screaming. And I'm like, dude, stop screaming because you're freaking me out. But Abdullah opens his ass all at once. And he done knocked Cactus down. Then this man done went wild, started beating up. They had little orderlies, they called them ghouls. They had them all dressed in white with a stretcher to take out whoever ended up in the chair, right? Honey, when I say Abdullah started beating them up, he started knocking them out. And then Cactus started helping him knock them out. I was like, Lord have mercy. So these two go out, Cactus helping his little buddy that he done accidentally, electrified, out of the arena. They going up the ramp together. I said, Lord have mercy. If this ain't too funny. it was a good match, but honey, nowadays they couldn't do that nowadays because there'd be too many people in their daggone feelings. Tell me no, don't do that. Now, the main event for that Halloween Havoc was Lex Luger facing Ron Simmons. I'm not going over that match, and the reason is because I do not like Lex Luger. You will very rarely hear me if I'm talking about an old match or something for WCW. 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna talk about if if he's in the main event, I'm not gonna talk about it because I do not like him. Um, I was not a fan of his back in the day. When they inducted him into the Hall of Fame, I wanted to know why. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If Vince was still in charge, Luger would not have went into that Hall of Fame because Vince blamed Luger for Elizabeth's passing. I blame him for her passing because if you hear that 911 call on the day she passed, you will understand why I feel the way I feel. And I'm just gonna feel that way. He looks so bad right now. Yes, he do. Yes, he do. He really does. Um, but yeah, and he had even said, he had said it himself. Vince was still in charge, and he had said it himself that um he knew he would never go into the Hall of Fame as long as Vince was, there because everybody blamed him for what happened to her. And I'm like, yeah, we heard the 911. Oh yeah, don't like you, dude. So he was part of the main event. The way it was set up, it was the best 2 out of 3 falls. And it was basically set up for him to win because he couldn't wrestle to save his life. So it was basically set up to, it was quick, to the point, so they could keep the title on him. Um, yeah. I just, I don't like him. So that's why I'm not covering that. Um, Ron does get the title. He takes it off of Vader, which was to me a more fitting opponent for him anyway. But yeah, the whole thing with Luger was just, just something to make Luger, ugh. Because the way it went, it shouldn't have, in my opinion, no. Because Luger really could not wrestle. All he had was the torture rack. That's it. That's it. So that was the main event, you know. But yeah. But yeah, that Chamber of Horror, yeah, that I even though I knew what was going to happen, I still, rewatching all these old, the old school, it's enjoyable. I remember when wrestling used to be good and fun, and I miss those days because everybody's all soft, and some of these guys, if you hit them too hard, that oh, that's a problem now. But them guys take a licking. It was like a Timex watch, take a licking and keep on ticking. But that was the first Halloween Havoc up under the officially under WCW, under the WCW umbrella. So I'm going to have to do, it'll be in a week's time. In a in a Yeah. Yeah, it'll be about in a week. I'm gonna do the first Halloween Havoc. We're gonna talk about the first Halloween Havoc under WWE as part of the NXT brand. We're gonna talk about that. um, they are slowly but surely trying to pull together a card for Saturday night main event. But at the rate we're going, oh yeah, well, let me go ahead and throw this in. I had forgot to put this in into wrestling news, but because of so many injuries are starting to happen on the main roster, they are talking about bringing some folks up um from what you call it, NXT, to fill in the gap. So it's gonna be interesting to see who they bring up. Tomorrow SmackDown tomorrow night is going to be interesting. I still need to say they need to bring Oba and let him take that tag off of Sami Zayn. Let's see how that goes. Um, but you never know, because the way we want it to go, it won't go that way. It will not go that way. Trust me. Because every time we think we're gonna get something good, oh, okay, this is going to happen, and it turns out it doesn't. It always ends up being something nobody wants. Because, like I said, he's not listening to the old school fans. They're starting to pay more attention to these newer fans, and it's really starting to irk my soul because I'm like, they have no clue. They've only started liking wrestling last week, and now they think they know everything, and all they know about these folks is what they've done in the last couple of years. They don't know their whole history and none of that. It's like, give me a break. So, yep, the next thing, November the 1st, we're gonna see how this plays out. I really don't have high hopes, to be honest. I don't. And that's very rare. Because usually by now, we have more of a clearer picture of how this is going to play out, what matches we're looking at, a pretty good idea of where we're going. I just ain't got no really high hopes. Um, it's a lot of speculation. Um, like there's some, speculation that y'all get a load of this. Like for instance, they think we could possibly get a match with Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. Sami Zayn and Shinsuke against MFTs. Yeah, like we really need that because we kind of know how that's gonna play. I mean, well, that might be entertaining. We still waiting to hear about Drew to be. I mean, not Drew. Jacob, because they're saying. I really hope he's not injured. Because I'd be so heartbroken if he is, because he just got back. That would that, and they talk about into next year. But I do know now there was strong talk that it was supposed to be Drew McIntyre facing Jacob Fatu. Um, oh y'all get loaded. Please stop saying calling stuff street fights when you know it ain't gonna be a street fight. A possible street fight: Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. Wait a minute, y'all. Get low to this. Now they saying because they're talking about only 5 matches for Saturday Night main event, and they're saying CM Punk and LA Knight clash at Saturday Night main event. What kind of crap is this? So we just gonna bypass? Oh Lord. Okay, this is speculation of how the card is supposed to look for. for Saturday night main event. So let's see if this plays out like this. If these are the matches we end up getting. Um yeah, this would be interesting. I really hope Jacob is not hurt. I really hope he's not hurt. I hope this is just some kind of crazy rumor or something, because we get those a lot. So I'm hoping this is just a rumor. Because if he's hurt, really hurt, and he's going to be out to 2026, I'm just going to cry. I'm just going to have a whole meltdown. Because it ain't too many people. I mean, we run out of folks. That's entertaining. But I will say this. Hold on for War Games. Wait a minute. Let's see. We got Tamatonga, Talatonga, Tamaloga. Ain't that his name? Tamaloga? Loa? Whatever. JD. Ooh! And Solo. That's a team of five. Okay, that's a team of five. Okay. Then we got Rowan, Uncle Howdy, Gacy. Yeah, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis. We need a fifth person. Cause Nikki can't be in it. So we need a fifth. Ooh, we need a fifth person. We need a fifth person for a War Games team. Oh, who could be the fifth person? Did I count that right? One. Yeah, one, two, three, four. We need a fifth person. Who could be the fifth person? We need Braun Strowman. We need Braun Strowman. Triple H need to bring him back. He needs to bring, yeah, he need to bring him back because we need a fifth person. We need a fifth man for 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 the White Six. So why you had to do that? Why you had to put his? I almost called that man something. I almost said something. So that way, that wasn't even funny. That was not funny. But we need a fifth person. We need Braun Strowman because that'd be 5 on 5. That'd be 5 on 5. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Then he needs Triple H need to go get Braun. He need to go get Braun Strowman. He need to go get him. We need him. We need to make that happen for War Games because you're running out of people. Because I can't see I can't see I can see Braun Strowman with them. I can't see nobody else with them. I can see Braun Strowman with them. Yes, this is what we need. We need this to happen for War Games because at the rate we going, War Games is gonna be looking a little pitiful here this year. It's starting to look like, but we'll see how it turns out, how it ends up being. How this works out. So we'll see what they say. I'm gonna be looking out, and we're gonna praying that Jacob is okay, and we're gonna see how that plays out. So, you guys, we'll see how this all comes together for Saturday night main event, and we'll see if Seth is really hurt and he really gives up this title. So I enjoyed. This was fun. Um, thank you for tuning in. For everybody that tuned in, thank you. Appreciate you. And for everybody that will be watching afterwards, I thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. We'd appreciate it. And that's all I got. So, um, I will not see you guys next week. I will be on vacation. Um, but we will have something for you. So we're just not gonna leave you just all by your little lonesome selves. We will have a little something something for you. So I will see you guys in a week, and we, like I said, we will talk about the first Halloween Havoc under the WWE, as part of NXT, as well as any wrestling news, and we'll pretty much be playing catch up. So I will see you guys later. Bye.